Sports Director Jeff Blankman.
Thank you very much, John, and good Saturday morning. Welcome here to the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Got a lot of coaches to get to. We're going to talk with Ryan Steinkamp as the Kemper Knights advance on last night. We'll talk to Craig Rowetter. They won their final regular season game of the year. Thomas Nelson going to talk about their 3 state cross-country qualifiers. Michaela Klink will wrap up the season with the Carroll volleyball coach, Rusty Wintermote. They picked up a win. They'll play at South Central Calhoun Monday night in the volleyball playoffs. We'll talk to him about that. And Deb Danner, Carroll girls swim team, had an outstanding last week. We'll chat with her about that as well. All that coming up here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show, but we're going to run you through our local scores from last night. Again, we do have a full statewide scoreboard available for you on the website at sports.1380kcim.com. Our player of the game pictures are up on our Carroll Broadcasting Sports Network website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. The audio from our 3 broadcasts last night is podcasted on the website as well. And again, we'll get recap stories and stats from all of the area football games up on the website again as the weekend goes on, as we get that information from the coaches and all the stats at sports.1380kcim.com. We'll start off with the Class 2A playoffs. Kemper again cruises in the second half, up 13-12 at halftime. They roll by Cherokee at 47-18. We'll find out at 10 o'clock this morning who they will play in the next round. ESAC saw their season come to an end. They fell down at Underwood last night in Class 1A, 44-6. Raiders, though, did hold Underwood scoreless in the second half. In Class A, ICAM Manning falls at Madrid last night, 45-7. And South Central Calhoun also knocked off in overtime as they lose at Loma 26-20. In 8-man, the Audubon Wheelers roll by Booyer Valley 30-6. They'll advance on. We'll find out at 10 o'clock this morning who they will be playing coming up next Friday as well. And Glen Ralston sees their season come to an end as they fall to Exira Elkhorn Kimballton by a final of 30-16. We will have both Kemper and Audubon games covered for you on our CB Sports Networks coming up next Friday night. Those games will be, Kemper will be on Kick, and Audubon, of course, will be on KKRL. Class 3A District 1 wrapped up the regular season last night. Carroll Tigers roll by Boyden Hull Rock Valley up 22-0 at the end of the first quarter. They win it 36-0 as they win 3 games at home this year. Bishop Heelan is the 2 seed in the district as they beat MOC Floyd Valley 62-27, and Sioux Center gets by Sergeant Bluff Luton by a final of 28-16. We'll step away. Ryan Steinkamp next year on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Score big when you come on down to the Carroll Pizza Ranch to dig into the country's best chicken, piping hot pizza, and their fresh salad bar. They're open to serve you all your Pizza Ranch favorites from 11 to 8 on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 5 to 8. Get their famous buffet your way, where you can request your favorite pizza. Everyone wins at Pizza Ranch, just off Highway 30, downtown Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Whoa, that's good.
Jeff Blankman joined here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show right now by Kemper head football coach Ryan Steinkamp as they roll last night, especially in the second half, against Cherokee to pick up a 47-18 victory. Coach, congratulations. I appreciate you joining us here on this Saturday morning.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jeff, for having me.
You bet, Coach. You were telling me last night, you and I chit-chatted for a little while when you guys got back into town, that you were a little more comfortable once you got back to town last night, but a little nerve-wracking first half the way it sounded.
Yeah, we knew going in, they're a good team. They've been battle-tested, seen some good teams, so we knew they'd be pretty pumped up for the game. And, yeah, the first half was tight, but our kids battled through and made a lot of great plays and great adjustments.
You guys got up 13-12 at the halftime. I know you scored there late in the second quarter to take the lead, but offensively, how were you guys able to move the ball, and what was working for you in the first half?
The running game was there. We were getting 2-3 yards. But they were they were taking away our big plays. They'll take these really deep. So we had to make some adjustments in some of the open spots and soft spots in the zone. And then then our kids started making plays.
Sounded like the defense played pretty well for you guys in the first half, even though you gave up 12 points. Special teams hurt a little bit. They had a guy return a couple for you. But how did the defense look, and were they able to hold those guys in check pretty well in the first half?
Yeah. They ran a trick play and got a touchdown. They made a good play on that one. Other than that, our defense played really well. Forced them to punt several times, almost got a couple of them. And then the kids just battled hard and played well.
Anybody individually stand out or a position group play really well for you last night defensively?
Honestly, all three levels, because we knew they kind of do a triple option. They do a lot of counters and quarterback replays where everybody had to be disciplined. And, we kind of, coaches had put them in a kind of a bad spot at first. We were blitzing quite a bit, trying to attack them, but we were creating seams. And then I don't think we even had maybe one blitz the second half. Like, let our kids just sit there and read and fill, and they did a great job of it.
Yeah, I heard you talking with KC about that on the Scoreboard Show interview last night. Was that something that the kids and you guys talked about at halftime, or when did that adjustment get made?
Yeah, it was a little bit both. I always talk to them when they come off the sideline a little bit. And, we were right there on blitzes and stunts, but, that the Paul's right here is a stud, and, we would get too far afield and create a seam for him. Like, most games, we got it. It's a great blitz, 3-4 yard loss, but he would run through an arm tackle and create a seam, and then, it just, it took me a little bit to realize that now we're putting the kids in bad positions, and we just kind of let them sit back and read their keys. They did a great job all year. They were just kept them in check kind of rest of the night.
How did you guys grab that lead there, late in the first half to go up 13-12 at halftime?
I think it was a third and medium, third and long on our side, and Brock hit Michael Kaspauer over the middle of the field and he made a heck of a catch and a heck of a run downfield. He turned on the jets and made a couple guys miss. It was a big time play.
What was the conversation like at halftime?
I think it's just getting everybody kind of relaxed a little bit. It was obviously a playoff game. I think the nerves are going a little bit for everybody. Kind of everybody calm down. We'll say, hey, this is what we got to do. Just one play at a time. Don't need to get all back in one. I got to talk to some of the guys. We have to chunk it. We have to drive the field. Those safeties are playing so far back. And then the opening kickoff the second half, Carson Canyon returns the opening kickoff. And there's that big play that we talked about. Just kind of happens naturally for them. Our kids are working so hard. It was great blocking and a great job by Carson. And
it sounds like that completely shifted the momentum for you guys.
Yeah, I think it got our confidence back a little bit. Really we kind of started getting our groove in a little bit after that.
So what started to click offensively in the second half? Were you guys able to just keep pounding at them, or were you able to get to big plays in the pass game?
We got a couple, just Casey Pierce getting 2, 3, 4 yards, playing in front of the sticks, and then just Brock connecting with the receivers, and then that led his short passes because they're playing soft, and they just kind of made some great moves and great blocking.
How'd the offensive line work for you guys last night?
They did well. They really did. Their fits were well. There was some popping going on last night. So they played very physical. I was really, really happy with them.
After you made the adjustments then defensively, what stood out for you about the way the defense played and able to take control of the game in the second half?
Just being sound. I know we forced a couple of turnovers then too. I thought the secondary played well. The linebackers, Will Simon, Jake Robeck, D-line, Bryce, Wiskus, Kobe Pierce, Kyle Sundrum, everybody just played this sound. It was just kind of a true, all 11 guys on the same page. You see them communicating. They work well. They're smart guys, so that was great to see.
Cherokee, a team that will throw some but would rather pound the football. Did you guys eventually get them out of what they wanted to do? Did they have to start kind of chucking it around a little bit?
Yeah, we definitely did. We definitely did a little bit. We kind of said, in past situations, you couldn't blitz them because he would just run circles around and stay moving all day. So we kind of just dropped 7 or 8 guys, and we were able to pursue him well and get into the most passing windows.
Coach, what happened in special teams to give up a couple of touchdown returns last night?
The first one, he made a play. I was kind of aware of him. In my head, my ears probably just pooch it. But no. And Tommy had a good kick, and he caught it on the 1 yard line, kind of above his head. And then after that second one, just a few guys out of position. He made a move, got some guys out of the lane, and I'll give a lot of credit to him because our kickoff team has been pretty sound so far this year. Definitely got a few things you can go back in the drawing board and look at though.
You got another one now next week. You get to come home here and play at your home stadium. What are you guys thinking about the playoffs? I know that you don't know. We won't know until 10 o'clock coming up this morning. But does it matter to you guys? Maybe that's the question asked. Does it matter to you guys who's in the pod and where you go and who you host?
I don't think so. At this point of the season now, it's kind of like, you got to be ready for anybody. If you got every team in the state has got big goals, and you got to go through the best to get there. So that's kind of we're taking that mindset of, whoever we got to play, we'll play them, and we're excited about the opportunity.
So are you guys going to have a get-together with the whole team? Are you guys going to be at one place, or is everybody just going to be at their own house kind of refreshing the association's website this morning?
I'm sure it'll be, it's a weekend, and we take a lot of family time on that. I'm sure. I probably won't be refreshing because I'm sure there's going to be a text message from somebody right at 10 o'clock about who we got and stuff like that. But, no, I know. Just kind of excited about it. It's kind of a fun time.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win last night. Appreciate you joining us here. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you and the guys next Friday night.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Head coach Ryan Steinkamp again with the Kemper Knights. They roll in their opening round of the playoffs, beating up on Cherokee 47-18. We're back. We'll talk with Craig Rowetter coming up next right here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Manning Regional Healthcare Center.
MRHC has provided a work-life balance that benefits me and my family, and the work environment encourages teamwork and growth. The staff works together to provide the best possible care to the community, no matter what their role is in the facility.
If you are looking to grow and thrive in a career close to home, check out our job openings at mrhcia.com/careers.
We're back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. We're talking right now with Craig Rowetter, the head football coach of the Carroll Tigers. A dominant, impressive win for them last night as they roll by Boyden Hull Rock Valley 36-0, got up 22-0 at the end of the first quarter. Coach, as always, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us early on this Saturday morning.
You bet, Jeff. Appreciate all the coverage like usual.
Coach, you got to be excited about what you saw last night. I know you said in our New Way Ford Scoreboard Show interview that you thought that was the team you could see all year. I know you're disappointed probably that it took to Week 9, but you got to be happy with the way you closed out the year.
Yeah, it was a great performance, and we hit on it a couple times about you can always kind of remember your last one there, and for our seniors to be able to, go out that way with a home win on senior night, and in the fashion that they did, they pretty much just, dominated. And it was great to see all the hard work that they've put in over the years kind of come all together, last night.
What was the huddle at the end of the game there after the game was over, and you guys, as you always do, kind of collect? What was that? What was the atmosphere? What was the collection? What was the kind of the conversation like?
Oh, it was kind of a mixture, kind of a mix of emotions. Yet the seniors were emotional being the last game, but you could tell everybody was proud of how they played last night, and kind of excited as well for those guys that are coming back. And like you said, it's kind of a glimpse of what I think, we're losing some pretty important and really good kids, to graduation, but there's also some pretty good ones coming back now that kind of have, seen firsthand that's how things should operate.
Coach, how long did everybody kind of hang out at the stadium last night? I know I left probably about a half an hour after the game got over. There were still several hundred people probably standing out on the field and then kind of sprinkled throughout the stadium. So kind of how long did everybody hang around and soak that one in?
Yeah, it was we were there for quite a while, actually. And I told them, when we brought the parents in before, the senior parents in before the game and talked, and I said, after the game, it's all about those guys, and take as long as you want as far as get all the pictures you want for those memories, and and it was cool to see our student body stuck around, and was congratulating everybody, and we did. We got all those senior pictures taken, and then we, as we always, Coach McCartan started it before I did. I just continued it. We line up the team then at the end when all the pictures and hugs are given out, and then we do kind of clap off all of our seniors. We get in two lines and let the seniors and their parents walk through us as we clap them off the field for that last time.
And I can't bet you that was a pretty emotional thing, Coach. But the emotion of the night didn't affect how this team went out and played. We talked last night. I thought your opening possession really set the tempo for the rest of the game. You just came out, pretty much ran it right down their throat.
Yeah, and that was, like I said last night, that was that was the game plan. Not always does it work just how you have it drawn up, but credit to our kids, especially those guys up front. They just, and we told them before the game, the offensive line. I said, hey, it's kind of on you guys if we dominate up front and push them around, and especially get up a couple scores early. We know they want to throw the ball anyway, but then you really make them one-dimensional. And plus, you put I thought we ran the ball really well a year ago on them, and we're the more physical team, and set the tone that way. So I think part of that crept into their mind too, like, oh, here we go again. After we were able to just run the ball right down that first series.
Coach, you mentioned last night that we talked that maybe this one in the Greene County game, that first game of the year, best performances by the offensive line. What was so good about the offensive line last night?
They just did their job. I mean, that was the biggest thing is they weren't trying to do too much, and it helped that we kind of had a plan in place, and we were able to rep that during the game. And we're not geniuses, but they did line up pretty much exactly how we thought they would. And some of our shifting around that caught them off guard, and we didn't wait for them to get set. So we took some advantage of that as well. But I think the biggest thing for our guys up front was they just took a little pride in beating the guy across from them, and doing their job, not trying to do somebody else's or do too much. Is
that what you guys were hoping? You guys that came out in the old wishbone look that Oklahoma made so popular years ago, and then you use that some, but then you drop into a shotgun out of that. Was that just to get them kind of off kilter a little bit?
Yeah, and I thought with our personnel, some of it was just with when we would put Regaler and Zygmunt back there. I did think we had the edge in the speed department. So a little bit of it was smoke and mirrors as far as just kind of trying to bait them, into maybe bringing in an extra defensive lineman so we could get out and use some of our speed in space. But they kind of were content sitting in the forefront. They moved their inside backers. They kind of stacked them in a straight line instead. That was their adjustment, but we just shifted out of wishbone then and ran off tackle with Regaler the rest of the way.
Coach, you get 22 in the first quarter. You go up 36-0 by halftime. That means the defense had to do something special. This was an offense you felt really had thrown the football extremely well all season, but they could never get that passing game going against you guys or the secondary last night.
Yeah, again, all the credit to my defensive staff. They had a great game plan, and the kids executed it dang near flawlessly. There's a lot. They didn't really shift as much. We kind of gave them some of their own medicine, I guess, as far as when we were shifting around. They didn't really do as much as they've done sometimes on film. But our kids were ready and prepared, and just credit to our kids for how easy they adapt. Coach Nagel kind of thought of a different wrinkle in some coverages already on a Wednesday, and that's more of our defensive day anyway. But really just 2 days of work on that coverage, and they pulled it off dang near perfect. Like I said, it looked like we had double coverage on their deep routes, and the guys were covering underneath. And again, when it wasn't a screen pass, our defensive line wasn't giving them much time to throw.
Coach, you were able to get some seniors in late in the game, get some guys some carries that maybe don't always get to see the football a little bit. So what was it like, especially on senior night, to be able to honor some of those seniors that maybe don't see the field a ton?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's always special for senior night, and those guys, are the ones that they put the time in the weight room, with all their teammates as well, and their practice every day, and sometimes, it's kind of. I kind of get a kick out of running. I do some of the scout team offense, and we kind of have our own little team, and some of those seniors are the main guys there, and so they put there's all the kind of intangibles that they bring to the table, and so it's fun rewarding those guys and being in the game, where you still, the goal, even though it is senior night, the goal is always to win the football game, and so it was just great that we had that opportunity pretty much the second half to kind of get the majority of them, in the ball game.
Well, Coach, as always, we thank you for everything all season long. Congrats on having the winning record at home this year, and we're looking forward to next season already.
Yeah, it'll be, it went by quick. It's sometimes when you don't have as many wins as you think you should, they say the season kind of drags along, but dang, it just seems a couple of weeks ago we were down at Central Camp in July and, starting our own camp at the beginning of August. So it flew this year. And, again, a lot of credit to our seniors and, the leadership and just their ability to make everything fun. And, again, they're going to be missed quite a bit.
Well, Coach, appreciate it. Enjoy a weekend off, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you here sometime soon.
You bet, not a problem. Thanks, Jeff, and go Tigers.
Head coach Craig Rowetter again with the Carroll Tanger football program, back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaching Show here on KCIM.
The Radiology Department at St. Anthony Regional Hospital wants to remind you that October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. 1 in 8 women will have breast cancer in her lifetime.
But here's the good news. There are over 3.8 million breast cancer survivors in the U.S. Screening mammograms save lives by early detection of cancer.
The American College of Radiology recommends annual mammograms beginning at age 40. For women under 40, talk with your healthcare provider about your personal and family history to see if breast cancer screenings should begin earlier. Please call the Radiology Department at 794-5202 to schedule your mammogram. We have extended hours until 7 p.m. each Wednesday in October. Always look to the cross, always St. Anthony.
We're talking to Thomas Nelson, the head cross-country coach of the Kemper Knights, right here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. The Knights qualified 3 runners for the state meet coming up. They'll run again on Saturday next week up in Fort Dodge. And, Coach, first, appreciate you joining us. Second, congratulations on a pretty good day on Wednesday.
Thank you, and it is always a pleasure to be here.
Coach, we'll start with the boys where you get 2 through. Jacob Graving and Ryan North both head on to state. Jacob finishing 9th, Ryan 16. I know coming into this thing before the state qualifying meet assignments were set out that we really felt that, because I thought this team deserved to be ranked all year with the way you guys were running, and you couldn't quite squeeze in there. But with 3 teams going and 3 teams ranked in the top 10, we knew it was going to be tough to get the team in, but we thought you guys could get some individuals, and you were able to get those.
Yeah, we were really happy. A goal for Ryan and Jake all year has been to go back to state. Jake will now have been there 3 times. This is Ryan's 2nd time. And those guys have put in the work over the last 2 years. They've really earned that spot at the state meet. So very happy for those guys. I thought they came in really mentally prepared to go run a race and qualify, and they came through.
How did the rest of the guys, Dayton 25th, Fletch 33rd, Blake 34th, and Thomas 40th, how did you feel like the rest of the guys ran?
I thought we had some pretty good races there. Dayton, Fletch, and Blake specifically all ran really well. We kind of compared our times to Glenwood and saw, a kind of average of this course ran a little slower. Blake was one of very few kids in the entire meet to actually run faster this meet than he did at Glenwood. If you looked at kind of our kids, LC's kids, Atlantic's kids, Glenwood's kids, that kind of stuff. Blake, I thought ran a really, really strong race. Weeds and Fletch too, both they put themselves out there. They knew that it was unlikely for them to be able to qualify kind of as individuals, but they did put themselves out there to kind of be in that position if they would have had all of a sudden just felt great and had that kind of miraculous race and dropped about 30-45 seconds from their PR. And so I was really happy with the way they competed. And Thomas and Charlie, have been having strong seasons and finished off pretty good too. So I thought those guys, it would have been easy for them to say, we're going against 3 top 10 teams, just kind of phone it in, but they all came out and competed really well.
Coach, you mentioned during the commercial break that the start of the race seemed to be really quick. How quick was that start for everybody?
I think there was just a lot of energy there. I didn't have an exact time on it, but holy smokes, the pack got out hard, and for a pretty good distance. Jake and Ryan were kind of back towards the end of the 20s, early 30s, probably around 800 meters in. And then they were able to, climb and catch kids over, the next mile and a half, 2 miles, get them. But yeah, then the entire pack, everyone kind of went at it, which was pretty fun to watch.
Did it thin down fairly quickly? Would it allow those guys to not have to kind of fight through groups to be able to pass guys? Or did they have to kind of really work through sometimes maybe getting 2 or 3 kids at a time?
They were working through. They were definitely getting multiple kids at a time, especially in the first mile and a half. And then at that point, it started to thin a little. But yeah, early on, they were working to gain spots.
Let's stay with the boys for a second. What's the mindset for those two, Jacob and Ryan, this week to get ready for next week up at State?
Mindset's just to stay confident, trust what we're doing, and trust that last year we're pretty much going to replicate what we did, and they went out to State and ran really well. Ryan got 39th, Jake got 47th. So trying to improve on those placings. I think those guys know, they've got plenty of experience there now, that if they go and just kind of run their race at State, they're going to do real well.
Coach, let's flip over to the girls. Marie Day, a senior, just has been an outstanding runner, whether it be cross country or track. She had another really good day, finishing 11th. She gets to head up to the state tournament as well next week. Julia Canny finished 31st for you. Addie Davis, 56th. Shelby Graving, 57th. Kyra Walterman at 60th. And Kaysen Stipa finished at 64th. We'll start with Marie. Congratulations to that young lady on getting up to state.
Yeah, Marie's just done a phenomenal job. Really, over the last 2 years, I don't really think there's any meet that if it was a state qualifying meet that she wouldn't have qualified. She's just been remarkably consistent. She puts in a ton of work to be that consistent. And she, I told her, for you, this is just kind of another race. Like, yes, it gets you to state, but if you run it like every race you've ran over the last 2 years, you're going to state. And she, I think, came in really confident and performed really well. So very happy for her going back to state this year.
How quick was her start? Did she get out kind of in the front part of the pack?
Yeah, the girls separated quicker than the boys. The girls, there were kind of probably about 15, 20 that really got out there, and really top 10, 12 were kind of the pack to themselves to start the race after 400 meters. So I thought she got out, and she always does, right in a good position. And just, held it for the rest of the race.
Was she pretty consistent right where she finished, right in that kind of 10th, 11th, 12th area most of the race?
Yeah, she was up a little further to start the race, kind of 7, 8, 9. But 10, 11, 12 were only about 6 steps behind that pack. So she pretty much was there and just hung there for the whole race.
How about the rest of the girls? Who stood out for you for the rest of the girls, and how did they run?
I thought all our seniors, Julia, Kyra, Kaysen, all ran really tough races. They all really wanted to finish the season strong, and I thought they did that. I was really proud of them. I think Addie Davis wasn't feeling the best, but she found a way to still put a pretty good race out there. She had some struggles kind of mid-race, but found a way to overcome it. And just keep going, and that I was really happy to see from a freshman. Cause sometimes it's kind of easy to just throw in the towel when you see a little adversity, but she just kept going with it. And then Shelby, I thought Shelby ran really well, especially I think Glenwood she kind of struggled at, but she had a really good race. She actually improved her time from Glenwood, which, like I said, most kids' times went up from Glenwood. Shelby went down almost a minute even. So I thought she did a really good job.
Coach, for Marie, what's the focus for her this week to get ready for next week?
Marie, I think, again, just kind of like with the boys is, hey, like you've put in the work, you've earned this. We're not trying to add a ton of miles or anything. We're just going to keep our legs as fresh as possible and stay confident that you can go out and compete at the state meet and try to improve on our place from last year.
Coach, tell you what, looking forward to catching up with you next Friday to see how the week of work went and get everybody kind of prepped for Saturday morning. So congratulations on, again, those 3 getting through and on a terrific season for all of the rest of your runners. We appreciate all the time and looking forward to catching up with you again next week.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
You bet. Head Coach Thomas Nelson again with the Kemper Cross Country team, back with more of the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show coming up. You're on KCIM.
Score big when you come on down to the Carroll Pizza Ranch to dig into the country's best chicken, piping hot pizza, and their fresh salad bar. They're open to serve you all your Pizza Ranch favorites from 11 to 8 on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 5 to 8. Get their famous buffet your way, where you can request your favorite pizza. Everyone wins at Pizza Ranch, just off Highway 30, downtown Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Whoa, that's good.
Back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show, talking Carroll Tiger volleyball right now. Joining us is head coach Michaela Klink. And, Coach, as always, good to catch up with you. Appreciate your time on this Saturday morning.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Coach, tough one. Season came to an end, I think surprisingly a little bit on Tuesday. You guys opened up the postseason against Denison/Schleswig, a team you had beaten earlier in the year. It wasn't an easy one, but you guys ended up falling on Tuesday 3-2. Got up 1-0, and then Denison came back and won the next two. You guys won set 4. Set 5 was a really fun set. You guys rallied back, got up 14-13, but Denison scored kind of the last 3 to win that 16-14 to pick up the win. As you look back and reflect, what are your thoughts now that you're a couple of days, half a week removed from that match?
Yeah, it still stings a little. We were really hoping that we could get to that Thursday game. And especially looking back on our first set, we just came out so strong, and we thought that we were going to have it. But that fifth set was super exciting. Both teams were fighting for it, and congratulations to Denison on that.
Yeah, you mentioned that first set. You guys really kind of dominated it on the scoreboard. I thought your serve seemed to get them a little flustered. What did you see early on that allowed you guys to kind of get on that roll early in that first set?
Yeah, we noticed that serving between seams kind of sent them out of system. They weren't able to handle it very well, and we even got a few aces off of them. So we were just trying to push that and get them off their game as much as we could.
Really liked the aggressiveness that your girls came out with at the net as well. You guys were getting a lot of touches defensively and stuff on the times when Denison got a chance to swing, which wasn't a ton because they were out of system a lot that first set. But I thought your girls came out really looking to swing and be aggressive offensively.
Yeah, we had talked about not just playing not to lose, but playing to win. So they were really playing all out and making some aggressive shots. So
balanced with your hitters that night overall. Ayala finished up with 10 kills. You had Molly Feld with 8, Kuhlman and Rowetter both with 6. With 7. Wardell had 6, and then even your setter Riley Nagel finishing up with 5 that night. Was that something that you guys noticed, that you'd be able to kind of move the ball around and maybe keep them off balance?
That really has been our focus, I think, for the past month. I think during the beginning of the season, we were just relying heavily on Olivia Rowetter, and it just became predictable. And so our focus had been spreading that offense so we could make the blockers move and have some more open shots for us. And I think it had been working.
Led by a freshman that night, in Analia Ayala. What did you see from her, and what's the future kind of hold for that young lady?
Yeah, she just kind of goes out nothing really bothers her, and that can be intimidating, freshmen stepping on that varsity floor, especially since she hadn't been with us all season. I see a bright future for her if she keeps progressing, and she's so coachable and wants to learn, and it's going to do nothing but good things for her.
Coach, you mentioned Denison kind of hurt themselves a little bit in set 1 with some mistakes. Those mistakes kind of went away sets 2 and sets 3. Was that kind of the difference, do you think, where they were able to get you guys those next 2 sets and kind of edge you in that third set, 25-22?
Yeah, I really think that first set, they were just making mistake after mistake. And then in that second and third set, just put a little bit more pressure on us to put the ball away, and that's when we started to make those mistakes that cost them in that first set.
I know Avery Burke and Riley Nagel came up for the postgame that night. They both kind of mentioned that I think they maybe relaxed a little bit, or they started to try and be too perfect, they thought, in sets 2 and sets 3. Did you see some of that as well?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's when we pulled out that saying of okay, are we playing to lose, or are we playing not to lose, or are we actually playing to win here? And then after that they stepped into that mindset is when we started seeing those positive changes.
Yeah, you come back, win set 4. What was the difference to get that 25-19 win? Was it just letting it loose again?
Yeah, just playing all out. We had nothing to lose. Our season would be done, or we would move on. And it was 0-0 between the two of us, and so we just went out and played. Coach,
that fifth set kind of went back and forth for a little while, and then it looked like Denison kind of edged up a little bit, and then you guys got up 14-13. What were you guys looking to do in that serve and on that play to try and end it there when you had that 14-13 lead?
Yeah, we were just trying to get an aggressive setup and have all our hitters going in at the same time. And it just ended up on 2 attack errors for us. And, in that conversation with the girls, that's what I wanted them to do. I told them, I'm not going to be upset, if you hit the ball in the net or hit out, if you're being aggressive and making smart plays. I would have rather had them do that instead of send over an easy free ball that they could have easily killed it on us.
Where did you see this team improve as the season went on?
Oh my gosh, just everywhere. The difference is just crazy. Looking back at them this summer, we didn't really know where we were going to put people. Even made some changes throughout the season. Just our middle hitters just learning how to block, learning how to make those fast transitions, and even Analia stepping up as a freshman. And then our back row, too, just really grew as communicators to the front row and communicators to each other. And they all kind of stepped up as leaders, too.
We talked on Tuesday after the match in the postgame. You talked about your 4 seniors in Avery Burke and Riley Noggle and Morgan Robertson and Molly Feld, just terrific young ladies. But the future, I think, looks pretty good for this team, just in some of the young kids that got valuable experience for you this year.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm super disappointed for this season and to lose those seniors because they all brought something to the table. But looking down, we do have tons of players coming back with that varsity experience, and that's going to be huge for us.
What's the biggest thing that you want to see them kind of focus on during the off season to get prepared for next year?
Just where they see themselves next year, setting those goals. Okay, we didn't have this great of a season this year. What are we going to do to get better next year and get in the gym? They don't have to play club all year long, but let's start making some progress.
Well, Coach, it's been a lot of fun this year. Appreciate all the time. You're so good at always getting us results and stats posted, and you always join us here on Saturday morning, no matter how tired you are and how many Saturday tournaments that you're headed off to. So we appreciate everything that you've done for us all season long. We look forward to seeing you throughout the off season and working with you again next year.
Yeah, thank you for supporting us.
You bet. Head coach again, Michaela Klink with the Carroll Tiger Volleyball Tour program. We'll be back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show right here on KCIM.
Hi, this is Dr. Brad Schaefer. As a podiatrist, I can tell you no two people's feet are alike, which is why I recommend Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts. They're customized for your feet, so you get a unique solution your feet really need, not just a one-size-fits-all insole. They're clinically proven to provide pain relief for achy feet, knees, lower back, plantar fasciitis, and heels. Take the Dr. Scholl's Custom Fit Orthotics Assessment in Walmart today, now in the foot care aisle.
A lot of schools talk about training the cybersecurity workforce of the future, but do they really deliver? My Computer Career has been supplying the IT workforce with thousands of skilled, certified pros for 15 years. Train with the experts in support, networking, or cybersecurity and start your career in months, not years. Upskill even faster. On campus or live online, qualified students may get financial aid, including the GI Bill. My Computer Career. Accredited, acclaimed, effective. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu.
Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning, talking a little Kemper volleyball right now. Head coach Rusty Wintermote is joining us, and Coach, it's always good to catch up with you.
Oh man, another great morning. What a great night last night for weather, for football, and And now this morning, but again, Mr. Blankman, the best part of the day, other than talking to you, is I get to go see my grandkids again.
Good for you. And I got to ask, I saw somebody bring over a little one the other night during the volleyball matchup. Was that a grandkid that stopped by to see you during the match on Tuesday?
That is my newest grandchild. His name is Dawson, and he just turned a month. And it's my youngest daughter and her husband. They live over in Roland, Iowa. So I told, because the first match he came to was when we played South Hardin the second time and we won. I told my daughter, I said, the more often you can bring him and come over, he's good luck. And he was good luck that night. So I told her she had to make some plans to come over on Monday, and then if we have a chance to play Wednesday, to bring Wednesday, because obviously he's a good luck charm. I told her she's a good luck charm too, though.
Yes, absolutely. Well, congratulations, and glad you got a chance to see the newest of the grandchildren on Tuesday. Congrats as well. A really good performance on Tuesday night. I thought the girls, I could tell. I think I said something to it was Elsa in the post game that I could really tell, or maybe Carson, that Casey was really focused. Usually Casey comes out and jokes around and kind of walks around and laughs and smiles. I didn't see any of that from her the other night before that match with the Rams. A senior, I think, really, really focused, and you could tell she came out thumping the ball really well. All of your hitters did, and you came out and cruised in that first set 25-6.
We did, and you know what? I felt like it was coming. We knew that if we could move it around and really distribute in other areas, that we would be able to get some clean one-on-ones, and which we did in that first set. But the kids, but again, you know it as well as I do, it started out with our serve receive, and when their serve receive was on point or within an area for Elsa and Carson to get to, our hitters transitioned well enough to make it happen. So hats off more to the back line because that's kind of that starting point. And Kaylee and Bree and Brooke and Franny, those guys got a chance to show off their skills, and it was fun to watch. And we told them at the end it was very fun to watch them play. And it was nothing that we did in that third game that caused us problems. It was more what they did. They did a better job of coming around and blocking, and we just didn't adjust fast enough to it. But yeah, they were focused, and you could tell that right away before we gathered as a team to do our prayer stuff. And but you could tell then they wanted to do their nights, and they wanted to get their prayer and say their nights and get to their stretching as a group. And it's the first time in a while that I've noticed that every movement they made was as a group of 15. It wasn't this pod goes off somewhere else, and they're still around each other, but this group was together through every motion of the pregame going into the match, and I felt the bench was into it. So when the bench can feed into it, and the crowd was awesome. My goodness gracious, and I only expect a bigger crowd coming Monday night.
Coach, you mentioned serve, receive, and also their block. Two quick questions for you here. One, was this one of the better nights for your serve receive this year? And then two, it kind of started, it seemed like about midway to late in set number two, that the Rams' block got a little better. Did they adjust something with their block throughout the match?
Well, what we noticed and what they did adjust is, on our serve receive, I'll go backwards a little bit on, serve receive, we always rate them on the bench. I have somebody keeping track of, do they get a 1, 2, or a 3? And for the whole match as a team, out of a 3, we scored a 2.21, which is, I think, a really good place to be. So again, that was the goal that I had for me, and I just discussed with them when they went out there what we needed to do, where they were going to serve, and the girls took advantage of that knowledge and were ready for it. And we took away short and made them go long, and they like to go long, and we forced them to serve it deep and out. But when they went short, we were there to pop it up. The adjustment to the block was only the fact that I think we didn't do what we needed to do, and their block was just reading. There were times we went out to Casey 2 or 3 times in a row. Even after a block came back, we would go right back. Block came back, go right back. So we had to kind of discuss how that's not not what we want to do, because when we've done that before, it hasn't worked. So it's like reminding them, if it gets blocked here, the second time is fine, but after that, I said, you got to go back to your middle, you got to go out to the right, and then come back to the left. That way that middle is not camping on where we're going to go. And I think we just made it too easy for them to just commit to an area, and for the defense anyway to commit, and then we just win. So the centers had to do a better job of reading what the middle hitter was doing, and we had just talked. Their tendency now is to lead to the outside, to our outside hitters. So let's run a gap shot here. Let's run a slide with our middles. Let's run a quicker one with our right sides. And once we started to do that, and we started to throw it around a little bit more in different spots, then they went back to having trouble. But then. So that was really nothing they did, is just what we did not do, and what we allowed them to do, which is not taking anything away from them. We played right into their hands when we got too comfortable.
Coach, you got South Central Calhoun coming up on Monday night, a program you know well and a team you've seen a couple of times this year. How different do you expect them to be on Monday night from when it was that you saw them early in the season?
Well, I expect them to be hungry. They felt like I know they didn't feel like they played very well the last time we met, and when we met them at their tournament. And they've been up and down, but they've also played some good teams and have come close to them, have maybe lost to them, but may beat them. So I kind of expect a team that, with Emma as fiery as she is, to really have them prepared for the excitement of the atmosphere. The Graves girl, number 10, she's really improved her output since we played. McAllister is who we always know they're going to find her, and I always believe that she's their big gun. Watching her against, when I watched them play Westwood the other day, it was a matter of 4 and 10 or Grave and McAllister were the busiest of all the two hitters. So we're going to really have to focus on them, but I look for Graves to be a lot stronger than the two times we played them. And their serve receive was better. So we're going to have to be more focused on where we hit our spots and work on hitting some areas from videotape that we think that they still struggle with. And Emma's going to do the same thing for us and realize that we do have weaknesses and they have the kids and they have the talent that it's just going to be a fun match. And, Emma and I texted each other on Friday and on Thursday and congratulated each other, and I said it's going to be a fun atmosphere. Enjoy the ride, and congratulations on her first win as a coach in the postseason. So they're going to be ready. They will, and we know it. And I don't feel like we'll take them lightly, because they know you take them lightly now, there's no tomorrow if you don't take them seriously.
Well, Coach, as always, it's fun to catch up with you. Can't wait to see that match. I get the joy of getting the broadcast coming up on Monday night. So we'll see you then. Enjoy the weekend with the grandchildren, and appreciate you joining us here today.
All right, Mr. Blankman, God bless you, and you have a great Saturday, and look forward to seeing you again, because you are a good luck charm.
Head coach Rusty Wintermode again with the Kemper volleyball team, back with more of the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show coming up here on KCIM.
From your first sunrise to the sunset of life, we are with you through life's journey. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. Visit socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
We're back here at the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning, talking right now Carroll Girls Swimming with head coach Deb Danner. And as always, Coach, appreciate the time.
Yeah, it's always good to be here.
You bet, Coach. You guys had senior night on Tuesday night. You hosted Abraham Lincoln over at Denison, and what a night. You almost beat them by 100 points. I don't know if I've ever seen that in a duel in swimming before, but what a performance by your girls on Tuesday.
Yeah, the girls swam crazy fast times, so it was a real pleasure to watch that. Yeah, you like seeing them swim some good fast times.
What was it about that night, and what has it been here? Because you told me last week, and you were really surprised right now with the way the girls are swimming. So what's going so well right now?
Yeah, we just changed our style of workouts a little bit, and it's really been paying off for them. I figured they'd be getting a little bit too tired, but they're still hanging in there, still swimming some fast times. So, this is working out for them well, and I don't know. It's just like I said, we're trying something new this year, and it's just working out for us.
Coach, usually for senior night, you let the seniors choose the lineup, and everybody kind of gets mixed around. Did they do much of that this year?
Oh, they did a whole bunch of that this year, yes. Oh, yeah. I don't know that only a couple of people swam their normal events at all, and those were picked out by the seniors themselves. So everybody else got thrown into events that they haven't swam before. So, yeah, it was an exciting. It was fun to watch that.
Most years it seems like the seniors have an idea of why. What was kind of the thought process behind the changes that they did this year for senior night?
To tell you the truth, I don't ask because I don't really want to know. I just hand them the paper and I tell them, okay, everybody gets 2 individual, 2 relays, go for it. And I just let them do their thing, and I don't ask why. I just watch and see what comes out of it.
Did anything shock you when you saw the lineup?
Well, they had a couple of girls in some events that I wasn't real sure was going to happen. We had one girl who's never swum a 2 IM before, and she had to swim the 2 IM, but you know what? She finished it. She did a fantastic job. She should be proud of herself. So, yeah, like I said, there was a couple of events like that, and it's like, okay, I'm just hoping we don't get DQ'd in anything.
Coach, I know you know these girls well, so you know what events they can and can't swim, but did anything surprise you about kids that were in different events with the way they were able to swim? Anybody swim better than you thought they might?
Well, I mean, yeah, some girls did very well. Actually, like my Villingerhoff, we've never actually put her in the 100 freestyle. And, here she pops off at 58, and it's like, okay, that was fun to see. It's like, now let's do that on the relay. But yeah, Emma Myers swam the backstroke, so she took herself out of breaststroke, gave herself a little rest, which is great. But she goes to 106 in her backstroke, and it's like, that was nice to see. We just had, some girls just swimming different events. Amelia Holt swam the breaststroke, went a 119. She doesn't look like a breaststroker in practice, but she did a good job with it. So, pretty happy with that. But yeah, they just swam a few different events, and they had a blast that night.
And that's what senior night is all about, is, again, you picked up the win. How much of the success do you think Tuesday rolled from the way you swam last Saturday? You guys were down at Lewis Central's invite, had a third-place finish, and when you sent me the results with the email that night, you were really, really pleased last Saturday.
Oh, yeah, the girls did fantastic down there. So we ended up swimming at Westside High School over in Omaha because Lewis Central doesn't have a pool yet, and so they had to find a different pool for this invite. But so we got to swim in a yard pool, and the girls were really happy about that. So, but yeah, they were just, our goal was to try and beat Spencer because Spencer's been beating us, and we just wanted to take that back. And so yeah, that was our whole goal, and they just really geared up for that. And every opportunity they had to take out a Spencer swimmer, they did it. And yeah, they were just absolutely thrilled about it. And once you get the momentum going, it just keeps on going.
And you guys had a bunch of time drops as well on Saturday. What do you think led to that? Is it the new way you guys are working out right now?
Yeah, I mean, that'll be part of it. Their conditioning is there. But it was just, the excitement of the meet, our end goal of the meet, really drove them to swim harder and faster than they had before.
Coach, you guys are back in action coming up Tuesday night as the beginning of the regular season starting to wind down a little bit. You head over to Perry on Tuesday night. What are you looking at there, and what's the goals for this team with the postseason and state qualifying meets coming up here so soon?
Yeah, it'll be Perry and Algona at that meet. We're looking for a win there, hopefully. Perry's actually stepped up. They've got some really good swimmers this year, so that's going to be a little bit that we're concerned about, that we got to go out and get those girls. But and I have full confidence that they'll take the win. We're looking to try, if we can get some more girls really close to qualifying times. I think that'll look really great when we go into regionals. That they should be able to get those qualifying times.
Well, Coach, we appreciate all the time here today. We wish you the absolute best of luck Tuesday down at Perry, and congrats on a really, really, really good week.
Thank you.
You bet. Head coach again, Deb Danner with the Carroll Girls Swim Team. We're back with more coming up right here on KCIM.
Score big when you come on down to the Carroll Pizza Ranch to dig into the country's best chicken, piping hot pizza, and their fresh salad bar. They're open to serve you all your Pizza Ranch favorites from 11 to 8 on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 5 to 8. Get their famous buffet your way, where you can request your favorite pizza. Everyone wins at Pizza Ranch, just off Highway 30, downtown Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Whoa, that's good.
Thanks for tuning in here for the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning, and thanks again to Ryan Steinkamp, Craig Rowetter, Thomas Nelson, Michaela Kalinka, Rusty Wintermode, and Deb Danner for joining us here as well. And again, our player of the game pictures from last night's games, football games, all available on the CB Sports Network website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. The audio broadcast from last night's 3 games are podcasted on the website as well. And again, full statewide scoreboard from last night available on the website at sports.1380kcim.com. And recap stories coming up throughout the weekend for all of our area football games from last night. That is the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. Have a great weekend, everybody.